Wow, we are nighttime. Daylight savings gone.
Oh
And
God.
oh God, and the town is in nighttime mode right now with someone who actually is not just a townsperson, but someone who's also in the realm of podcasting, someone who's in the realm of sexiness, someone who's in the realm of just sluttery. This is kind of fun. I'm kind of vibing for it. And also the like dichotomy for any visual learners. I am literally in my room as I always am with my Coca-Cola baseball cap, support capitalism. Just kidding. And I am in the depths of darkness in my room here in Uptown New York. But our guest co-host today is in the depths of brightness in California. This, and
Yes.
by the way, what a lovely living room. Are
Well,
these like
thank you.
are these masks? Are these a mask for mask on your wall? Is that what's happening?
They're masked for masked and femme and anything in between. But yeah, these are world traveled masks. So
Oh, so they're from all over the world.
different
Okay.
places. So yes, my partner started them and then we've been collecting and then there's a couple even on there from like a swap meet. So
What's your favorite? What's your favorite mask?
um probably which one over here? Okay. You can't I don't know if you can see her. We have to like turn this just a tiny bit. This little blue girl right here.
Okay,
So,
Aquamarine. Okay, Avatar.
and she was found at like in Portland at like a swap meet, like just kind of like out on the street. And so my partner and I, we try to like, I say my partner and I, I'm like, here in the town people,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to hear sluttery, but we'll get there. But
No, please.
yeah, but we like when you travel, instead of bringing home like a t-shirt or some stupid shit like that, we usually try to like pick up some kind of trinket or art or do those kind of things, and then we can adorn our house with it, and then you walk past and you remember things.
Well, I love a trinket, and for me personally, my like thing to ask if like a friend's going out of town, they're like, "Hey, can I bring you something?" Or if I'm going somewhere, I'm a keychain slut and I'm a
Okay.
magnet slut. Magnets and keychains, I mean, that those are my things. So everyone
Magnets are
has
big
like the
for us.
oh, are you a
Yeah.
Latina girl? Is your
Oh
fridge filled
yes.
with magnets?
I
Oh,
grew up with
ah.
Titi Cynthia's fridge was completely full from top to bottom on at both sides, like and we used to pick them up, and we were in like we'd be in the kitchen and like throw them on the ceiling, and then try to like see if like she noticed which one was gone, because like she had like the little metal ceiling things above the lights. So we grew up a little bit in the hood. Don't let this living room fool you. You know what I mean? She
Oh,
came up. She
don't let
came
the living
up.
room with the big mirror frame and is it a fire escape like the big
There's
cow.
a fireplace.
Oh my God, what's happening? Oh my
And
God, we're in a
then two dogs over
two
here.
door. Oh my! I thought that was just a cushion. Their dog. Oh my God.
Yeah, they
A
match.
clip in this for socials. The dog matched the fucking couch. Oh my God, dog. Oh my God. And then on your right side, you've got your
Mhm.
reading space, right? This is where you're reading your smut. Is that where you're reading your smut?
I have read Smut here because sitting on the table, I think, is one of Leo Herrera's books. So, when I
Love
had to like
post. I've been like reading. We're currently on repeat.
an
I
analog
think
cruising
actually.
is actually on that table. So the room
So
is full of like little
I
touches.
got
Yes.
post right here. See, I'm not
Love it.
lying.
Okay.
Townspeople, I'm a
Clip
big
this
Leo
part for
Herrera.
him. Clip this part for
Clip it
him that we actually are a reader, not just
before,
a
honey.
follower.
We're readers, we're followers, we're instrumentalists to Miss Leo Herrera. Clipping this for socials. Anyone
Hmm.
who does not know Leo Herrera's work, especially if you're a queer, Latinx, or just queer person of color, get to Leo Herrera. Very important conversation about sex, about Latinidad, about just like being a queer person in today's world. It is so good. But you know what's also so good? You're
Hmm.
so good. I am Pioneer
Oh.
Peru, and this is Pioneers and Trailblazers, and I am here joined by someone who is legitimately turned like just a listener just by I don't even want to claim any sort of like ownership as to how you became a townsperson. And
Mm-hmm.
then I became aware of your conglomerate, which is But Honestly podcast
Mm-hmm.
with Dr. Carlton, in which Miss Nick, shout out Miss Nick, Miss You Love You. Miss Nick and I have both been guests
Absolutely love
on.
her.
And let me tell you, let's introduce our incredible guest, a social butterfly in the West Coast scene, a co-host, a creator, a, I think, if I may say so, very positively, a slutty girl. Miss Dangilo Bonilla. Hello, Bonilla.
Somewhat.
Do you like being called Dangilo Bonilla or Bonilla?
It
What's
it depends on where I am on who I'm with.
mm,
So like really close family, they'll call me D'Angelo Bonilla. You know what I mean? And
mm-hmm,
like so
mm-hmm.
people who are like in the inner circle, people if I went to school with, because I went to school in Ohio, they'll call me D'Angelo, and they call me by my middle name, which is Brian, and then Bonilla is how they all pronounced it.
Brian Bonilla. Brian
Yeah.
Bonilla.
And then most professional people know me as D'Angelo Bonilla, so or Bonilla, you know what I mean, if they're like kind of putting it together.
Now, where in
So
Ohio?
I grew up outside of, well, it's actually it's a town called Youngstown. So I don't know if you've ever heard of this. So there's a
Where all my
university there,
contemporaries live. My
Steel
contemporaries are in
City.
Youngstown,
Are
Ohio.
they?
Yeah, because they're all young.
Yes, exactly. Yes, you're contemporaries. It's a university city. You're just straight out of school, just, going down the street, going to the bar, getting penny beers, those kind of
Penny
things.
beers, yeah.
That's what was happening in Youngstown, Ohio when I was in college. But
Oh
I think
my
I'm a
God.
town elder. I told you that before. Like, I feel like, most of your listeners are probably of the younger persuasion or their daddies who are just into you and Miss Nick's feet. But like, I think that, I'm town elder, that kind of thing. Like, you guys can come to me if you have issues. I'm a tío, I'm an uncle, I'm a gunkle, that whole thing.
Oh my God. Are we just finally officially establishing the first town uncle, the town Tio? Oh my God, the official town Tio, D'Angelo. Thank you for being here. And can I just repeat, if I haven't repeated already,
hmm
how much fun we had at But Honestly podcast. It was such a great time. All your talks. Recently, I actually re-listened one of your episodes
Okay,
with
which
Miss
one?
Selena Stades
Oh,
because
wonderful.
Miss shout out Selena Stades, shout out clipping this for socials. Miss Selena is another person who's not afraid to be bold, to be salacious, to just be like completely fully putting themselves out there, and I really enjoy conversations with her. And she's also just like a fun gal. We love
She
a
went
fun
there with us.
gal.
Did you heard that? She went
Oh
there
my
with us
God.
on things.
Yeah. And
Like we
she's
found out
going.
about the arrest. Like we found out like things.
Oh,
It's a
the
deep
fucking
tease. Y'all
steam
need to listen to
room.
the episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, Diva. And by the way, not even spoilers, but Miss Diva has talked about that story in other platforms. So
hmm
she's definitely just like, let me tell you my story proudly and
Open book.
unashamedly.
You do
Open
the
book.
same thing that we do. Like before we start recording, it's like just want to make sure what's on the table, what's off the table, that kind of thing. And she was like, "Put your dick on the table," basically. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it
Right.
it was fantastic talking with her.
We love.
Oh, and we loved
But
you guys. We loved you guys
oh my
too.
God,
You
stop
know what? Here's the
that.
thing. So when you guys came on, because like our podcast, it started off and like we're on this like liberal news media, independent news media network, and they brought us in because of Dr. Carlton's like contributions to like Mpox, and getting everybody
Of course.
vaccinated. And then he's the butt stuff doctor, the butt clock. You know what I mean? How do you put
Hmm.
something in your ass? He's gonna show you. But the thing is we kind of got into this point where we were just kind of doing everything about like leather. You know what I mean? Like it became like this leather kink thing, but that wasn't really what we were set out to do. So we started like, okay, we need to pull some other people into the coven. And I was into you because of I'm a mish head. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
my God, fellow Mishhead school. There's definitely some here. Hello, Mishhead.
hello, Mish Heads. I actually have a good story about I actually met Michelle finally recently. So
Oh my
it's a
God,
cute story.
wait.
We're not friends or anything yet, but but
But
it was a clandestine meeting. So that's a deep tease. I'll tell you that story in a minute. But back to you and Miss Nick, when you guys came through, it was like we need to get like some young blood, and you guys are the youngest who are out
Hmm.
there of consensual age of 18 and older. But y'all two came through, and it was like Dr. Carlton, my show partner, and then our producer was like, that was different. And I was like, yes, this is what we need. We need to inject some new life and young blood into what we're doing. So, you know what I mean? So, I'm very Madonna, you're very Britney Christina. And so, we just had to suck the life out of y'all. And it kind of reinvigorated us. And it really did give our show like kind of like a turn around the corner. And we started all of a sudden getting more letters and people calling in and advice kind of things from younger listeners, like in the 20, year old and like even young 30s, because everybody before that was like 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's a different kind of a pod.
It,
So
I
that's why I'm
mean,
an elder.
but it is so funny, and I mean, thanks for all the compliments, but it is so funny because, like, uh, even with the difference in like the generational difference, if we're gonna
Hmm.
say it broadly, there is still a very unifying conversation with queer experiences because some queer people don't experience certain things until they're older.
Hmm.
And, there are many very blessed people who experience things, queer experiences on the younger side. So there is a unifying factor in which, like, regardless of your age or whatever, like, you're still going through the same things.
Hmm.
For example, like douching and bottoming and like going on the hookup apps, like all these things are kind of just like under the same umbrella of queer experiences, but some people just experience them at a later stage or an earlier stage. But regardless of that, it really is the same. It is the same. The only thing that's different is just because radical gay people just like to
Hmm.
categorize everything so deeply. But beyond, like, I mean, if we put that aside, I think there is so much more common ground between all of us. I'm telling you, when I go here in New York City, D'Angelo, have you been to? I'm sure you've been to Julius here in New York
Julius
City.
is Hell's Kitchen.
No, it's in
Oh,
West
where's
Village.
Julius? No, I don't think I've been to Julius.
I
I
got
don't
my
know if I
Tio. I
have.
got to teach my Tio. I got my not Tio. Okay, Tio.
Okay,
Tio.
yeah. See, you know what? I
Tio.
used to
Tio
live in New
Coronel.
York, but it's been a minute. So,
Well, Julius is actually the
mhm.
oldest gay bar in New York City.
Where's it at?
It's in the West Village. It's right. It's literally right, be kind of behind of the duplex. The duplex on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like Monster Bar and then Duplex and then Julius right behind that and then Stonewall is right next to to the Duplex too. But anytime I'm at Julius, I always connect if I'm especially at the bar alone, I connect with some elder gays who like are there asking me where I'm from and asking me like about my things and ultimately we always just end up connecting on.
Is Julius next door to Stonewall?
No, it's like behind it, like one street behind. It's the
Okay.
duplex right here, and then Stonewall, and
Hmm.
then right behind that one street over is one street further north is Julius.
Okay, maybe I have been there, but I was a different person in my 20s. Um,
Listen,
I
listen,
don't
and
remember parts of
I'll
it.
tell you how what I am when I'm in my 20s. But anyway, so like we always share like the same common experience of like sex and just wanting to like be seen and be felt and be touched.
Hmm.
So, there's definitely common experiences.
Well, it's that, and I think also as gay people, and I'm going to say this very, very generally, and so whatever. Um, a lot of times, because we spend so much time, if you don't come out early, then all of a sudden when you come out, you have this renewed adolescence, kind of a vibe. So there's like this extra gay adolescence. So if a guy doesn't come out until he's like 36 years old, that 36 to 40, he's back in high school in a sense, and just fucking anything that can move, or they're really, really nervous about things. They're getting their gay footing, so to speak. So yeah, like absolutely.
Well, it reminds me of, have you rewatched Queer as Folk anytime recently? The
No,
original?
but the original was on like nonstop. Like, because it was,
Oh.
yeah, I was in college slash high school. Like, there was end of high school is when it came out. and then in college, and then I was remember when you used to rent videos? So there was this thing before Redbox, before Netflix, you had to go to a store and intentionally look for a video that you can take home to your VHS player or a CD. And so the DVD situation was I got myself an extra membership somewhere that my parents didn't normally go because we always rented at this one store, Giant Eagle. It was like a big conglomerate kind of thing. But then there was these little, side stores that would rent. So I would go there and rent all my gay fare and then watch it quietly in the basement. So yeah, I was very into queer as folk. So I am a scholar in it. It's been a while since I've studied, but what's up?
Well, I was gonna say because I recently watched the full series, and
Mm-hmm.
like I remember when I was like a tiny gay, seeing clips of Queer as Folk on YouTube. Like that
Mm-hmm.
was my intro to Queer as Folk.
Oh
And I
my.
was like, and I was like, because like you're just gay. Like I was alone in my fucking like room in Texas, and I was like, just like gay love stories or whatever. And like people would make like compilation videos of queer as folk, like Brian and Justin, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how I became aware of it. And I was like, well, how can I watch this fucking show? So I went through the depths of humanity to try to like torrent some like episodes, just like illegally download them from some source.
Napster and all those kind of things.
I kind of like finagled my way. I never used Napster.
Okay.
I've heard of Napster, but I definitely was more like a
That was my
LimeWire
generation.
person. I was a
Yes.
LimeWire person. Were you with the LimeWire
I
girlies?
was with LimeWire. That gave like our family like viruses. So our family
Oh
computer.
yeah.
So
Oh
but I
yeah.
had a
My
friend who was really good at downloading that shit.
my computer had monkeypox from LimeWire. Let me tell you, girl. Like monkeypox from LimeWire, title of app. Like my computer was just riddled. But then I realized, like Showtime did the show, whatever. So I watched the whole show and it was so transformative for me. And let me just say, to this day, there
Hmm.
has not been a TV show that depicts particularly gay life such as that show.
No, because
Even though it's been so long, it's been 20 years and like no one's dared to do something like that. It is quick. The bathhouse scenes, steam room, the dark room scenes, I mean, come
when
on.
Ted does meth and has group sex, and like and regrets it, and that whole storyline. So yeah, no, Queer as Folk was ahead of the curve. And
It
remember
was so
Rosie
ahead.
O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell was in Queer as Folk.
Oh, oh. She was the lesbian love interest of one of the only female characters in the show.
Hmm.
But it was so good. But with Queer as Folk, like it was such a there was such openness and like direct dialogue about like gay experiences and like
Hmm.
like you're talking about Teth getting addicted to meth and like the whole talk was about like always using condoms, but like even then like all the gays were like in kind of like open relationships and the whole dichotomy of like, hey, do you want to have a family? Do you not want to have a family? Like it was a whole thing. Chris folk, I am needing some queer as folk. I thought about doing like a queer as folk like rewatch podcast, but I don't know how many people would be interested. But
I
it's
think
it
that would be
was
amazing. I would totally be down for something like that. So I would come and, I can even help you out with something like that. If you really were into it, like let's talk about it off pod because
it would
that
be
could
so
be,
good.
yeah, that could be monumental. Okay, so who were you into? Were you a Brian? Were you a Justin? Were you a Michael? Were you a
Okay.
Ted?
Well, that's the thing with the queer as folk girlies, and my segue into what's happening right now too,
Hmm.
is that obviously I think I'm kind of like a Mike. No, sorry, I'm kind of like a Brian Emmett kind of like pipeline.
Okay.
Um, in the fact that I'm slutty, but I'm also fun. But then I
Hmm.
also kind of want like I kind of want to be like Justin because I'm always like I'm forever young. Like I'm always gonna be like the young person in my group.
Hmm.
I don't think
I
I'm a
don't know what
Ted
rimming
because
is.
I don't know what it is. And
Mhm.
then Miss Ted, who was like basically Ted was the Miranda for those who haven't seen Queer as Folk. Like Ted is the Miranda of Queer as Folk.
I've never heard it put that way, and I fucking love it because it's
Oh,
so true.
absolutely. And like really Justin kind of is the Carrie Bradshaw because like he was just kind of delusional and just walked through his experience just being 18 and just everything being handed to him and not really having a true struggle, you know?
Even how beautiful things were, you know what I mean? Like the it would become like a Pepsi ad all of a sudden when like somebody was walking down the street and they like, Michael or no, Mike, it was the first time that I think Brian was taking Justin home. I think like in the very, very beginning when
Yeah.
he like douses the water all over himself and splashes it and like, and all the shower scenes, like they were all so
Mhm.
sleek and pretty. And then they would show this underside of Pittsburgh. So growing up in Ohio, like where I did, and then where I went to school, we would run out to Liberty Street all the time in Pittsburgh, and it was not like that. But what was the bar that was supposed to be based? What was the bar?
Woody's
Woody's?
or
Remember?
Babylon.
Babylon. Babylon was supposed to be like Pegasus, which is the real bar in
Mm.
Pittsburgh. And so we would watch that show, me and my friend Julian, like nonstop. And then all the other little gays who like came up around us because I went to school for theater. So they were all faggots. But we would on Thursday nights, we would call it Ho Night and be like, it's time for hoe night. And so we would all get dressed up. And this was like from Justin to Kelly era. So we would have like the bedazzled shirts and one sock on the arm, you know what I mean? Like, and go down there and just live our lives and think that we were queer as folk, and we were at Pegasus and it was like our Babylon and we were gonna rule the night. And mind you, we were like 21 years old while Brian's supposed to be like in his mid 30s, with the Jeep and all the flashy. Ugh, okay. Now I really want to rewatch it because it has been a minute. I'm
I
thinking about it now.
know. And like the big deal was like Brian turning 30 and like it was like the death
Hmm.
of everything and like he found it's that there's so many like the show ages well as far as like where the gay community is at currently because not much has changed besides now everyone's doing bareback sex because there's prep and doxy
But they were
and
then too, because there was all those cruising storylines where they were nervous about certain things,
well,
So,
right, but I guess now they were all using condoms back there. Now, like
hmm.
if they were to redo it now, everyone would just because come on, you know this. All the girlies do not want to use condoms. I would say like 97% of every hookup I have is like condomless, and like I'm totally cool with that because I'm safe and I get tested every 3 months and everything. But like
Hmm.
the whole thing is just like, oh, you want to use condoms? Like, bleh, like, yeah, everyone's so
There is a
judgmental.
vibe to it, but the thing is, there is like, yes, we appreciate BB sex, and like now with prep and doxy and vaccinations that are coming to the UK and that those sorts of things that'll eventually make their way here. Um, with all of that, there's still a generation because we get it all the time of guys who are nervous. They lived through the 80s, and so there is a little bit of generational trauma in that generation. It's one of the reasons why we don't have elders in a lot of places, people
Right.
who are, 70s and, that kind of thing. We don't have the elderly. But um, there's a mailman coming, and I know one of my dogs is going to like freak out. So we might have some barking in the background. Um, but anyways, so like there is just this little bit of trauma around bareback sex for people, and they're still wrapping their head around it. So they're more side oriented. That we're
Mm.
finding that a lot of older guys are more into like sucking dick and hand jobs and rimming. I mean, like remember all that porn? Everybody was just getting a jerk off. You know what I mean? Like all like the military shit and all that. But I think yes, you are so right that now I think of Queer as Folk, if it were to come out today, would be, I forgot my prep, when they're going on
Right.
vacation.
Like,
And
oh my
then it's
God,
like,
missed my dose.
yeah, do a 211. Here's some extra pills. You
Yes,
know what I mean? It's
yes.
gonna be like
Does
that kind of
anybody
thing.
have Discovia? Do you have Truvada? It doesn't matter. I just need some prep.
Get me this.
Give me this. But the one thing that also carried in the show is that politically speaking, things are
Hmm.
not any better. And I literally saw this, D'Angelo.
Hmm.
Literally just a couple, like I would say I finished rewatching the whole series like a month and a half ago, 2 months tops. And like
Okay.
the final season, the whole story arc is they're trying to repeal Proposition 8, which is like, gays not being able to like be like in a lawful partnership and get married and everything. And like now we're in a political place where it's just like, oh my God, like things don't seem any different. Like maybe if maybe if Queer as Folk had been rebooted or like sequeled like
Hmm.
in 2019 maybe, or no, even because Trump was already in office then. But like
Yeah.
if it had
Like
been
in the
redone,
Obama
like,
years.
but it would have
Like,
been like, oh, like things got so much better. But like now looking back at Queer as Folk, so many of the topics that would have been dated, like, oh, it's the exact same stress and the exact same narrative that people are having on that show than we're having right now. And it is,
oh,
speaking of, we're recording right now. I mean, depending, I'm pretty sure this is gonna go out pretty soon, but like we're recording on election night. Happy election night. And like
hopefully it's a happy, happy fucking election night.
hopefully
So this is the
across the
hope before.
board.
This is the hope right now before the manifestation of good things, of Mamdani, of
Oh my God,
Prop
Prop
50,
50.
you know.
Imagine all of the podcasters who like recorded November 4th last year for like the presidential election, like all those episodes that recorded before the results get turned
Hmm.
out.
It's hard to go
Diva.
back and listen to some of those things. It's really it can be difficult to listen to those more than it is to listen to like COVID episodes of things. So,
Ugh.
but
Well,
but we are manifesting for good shit that's going to happen. It's going to be in the pipeline. This is going to be the role of like, into some good.
well, speaking of good shit, and we might be transitioning to a set different part of the episode, but
Hmm.
I do want to say, like I've been kind of dabbling back and forth. I've been kind of focusing on doing my show and everything, but my sluttery has been going up and down, ebbs and flows. And to any townsperson who kind of is in the know, like I kind of was being private about like a kind of semi relationship I was kind of like involved in earlier.
Ooh.
And then that quickly ended because of circumstances that were really insane, and I will be discussing those in my actual live show because I cannot speak on about those right now. But I'm getting back on, this lottery scene, and I've been kind of making my rounds. But recently, a word keeps being brought up, D'Angelo,
Okay, what is it?
that I don't know if you like it. I don't know if I like it, particularly to group scenes. Now, I don't know how involved you are in group part. I know you have your Osa Susia party that you do host every now and
Hmm.
then.
That's a dance
Um,
party though. It's not a play party.
okay, it's not a play
So
party.
no, it
Got
is
it.
for it is for sexy queer weirdos and bears and the like, and and it's queer. It's not just gay men, but it's we're not a sex party. If you end up in an alley somewhere, I don't know about that. That's not anything to do with me. What I have to do with are the go-go boys and the DJ and what's happening up front and under the lights. In the darkness, I don't know anything about that.
Right. I loved your response. Very political. Love. You should run for office. You're running for
Oh,
office.
one
And
day.
Dr. calls it freaking VP. VP, and you're president. I love
Oh.
that. But I have been encountering this word. I've been having some group fun here and there, and it's been really great. And like now that all the townspeople know, like I like been dabbling into topping more, but like I'm kind of back to bottoming, but topping it is more convenient. So like groups, especially on Sniffies, tend to be more like um they give me many more opportunities, to like
Is it
do
really like that
something.
in the city? It's like there's really group
Oh,
opportunities. Because here it's just all cum dumps. You know what I mean? Like the groups are always just cum dumps. There's not really tons of group play opportunity on that way.
well, I mean, yes, there's plenty of condoms here, but there's also like grouping. It is all about, like send me a
There are
photo and
cum
so
dumps
do this and
everywhere.
just kind of everywhere, honey, please. Um, but you probably know this too. Like, people start socializing outside of the group because they see the photos and you start like messaging people that you think you might like outside of the group setting.
Hmm.
But this phrase that keeps being brought
Okay.
up.
This deep tease is got me on the edge of my seat.
It's not even that crazy, but I don't know how I feel about it. Do you like when guys say, I'm going to churn my cum? Do you want me to churn?
Are you serious?
Churning, I I am serious.
This is
And
so
and
topical. So I don't
and
know when
I,
this episode's going to come out, but the episode that we have coming out on November 5th this week actually has
that
to do with the phrase churning butter.
that's that wait, stop it. Wait, are we releasing episodes the same day potentially? Oh my
Maybe. I
God.
think, yeah, now you have to, because this is like a part two of what we just discussed on our pod. Honestly, we just talked about Dawson's 50 load weekend and Treasure Island Media. Like we got into the whole churning thing.
Oh,
This is out there again. Churn.
but also
Churn, y'all. Churn.
thank you, please churn
Is that the title of the app?
churn churn just churn. Like just Jackie will and Grace, just churn. Eh,
Well, Deborah
actually that's
Messing's a mess
disgusting.
right now. But anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Oh
Um,
no, we're not discussing Miss Messing.
yes,
Listen,
but
love
churning.
her. She did
She's
something for
churning.
us.
She's
Oh,
churning.
she's churned out.
She's
I
messy
am
churning.
I am all churned out over you. You know that song? Anyway, but people keep bringing that word up as it's supposed to be like a sexy word. I don't know how I be about churning, especially in these cum dumps. Like all of these gays seem to find like a big
Hmm.
fetish. And you know what? I'm gonna continue my thoughts. I'm just gonna move over to a little saucier part of this podcast,
Okay.
potential. Before I cross over, thank you for being here. But honestly, podcast with Dr. Carlton. It's been so much fun having you here, and we're gonna
Hmm.
continue our conversation about churning here in 2 seconds. Bye
Yes.
bye. D'Angelo, what is happening?
Hmm.
Time's flying by too quickly. Really quickly, if you want to give everyone your socials so they can follow you and find your ventures, please.
Yeah, sure. You guys can just find me on Instagram, Dangilo Gogo, Dangilogogo. There's a link tree, and you can find everything else: the podcast, the parties, the random questions, And then be aware, my Instagram is an 18 and older Instagram in the sense that it can be thirst trappy, it can be stuff from the podcast, and stuff from the parties. And so it's a little bit of everything. So it's not my professional place on the corporate side of things. It's more the influencer space.
Right,
So it's
right, right,
fun.
right,
It's a lot of
right.
fun.
It is, I can attest, very much fun. And if you want to continue on the fun, please also go follow and listen to But Honestly podcast with Dr. Carlton. We have an episode all there. Who, if anyone who's missing Miss Nick, I also have an episode with Miss Nick as part of Pioneers and Trailblazers with But Honestly, which I will put in the description of this episode, so y'all can go listen to our nice banter that we had over there. It
We
was a
did,
really
and you
fun
guys answered a
time.
couple questions.
Oh
You guys.
yeah.
So we're an advice pod. So everybody who, when they ask us like, what is, but honestly, we are an advice pod. So remember Loveline from back in the day. That's kind of what we do, but we focus on sex, socializing, love, and butt stuff because Dr. Carlton is a gay gastroenterologist, a real Mayo Clinic certified doctor. And I'm just a gay guy who's done stuff, and I've done lots of stuff. And so we get into we lots of questions, our butt dials and booty calls, and then we have great guests like you guys, the pioneers and trailblazers. We've had Dan Savage on the show. We've had Willem. We've had Selena S. Titties, Court Vox. Like so, it's been a really really great experience. So thank you
And
for
it's
having
been
me on
really
here.
fun. No, of course. And if anybody wants to follow Pioneers and Trailblazers, if you don't already do it, please go ahead, join the YouTube townspeople. If you want to just leave a comment on the episode that you like, go revisit any older episodes, go to social media, go to Instagram, go to Spotify and Apple Podcasts, leave a review, leave a comment. You know, those things really help spread the gospel of the town. And if you want to spread the gospel of Peru or just see more of me specifically, go to Hey Peru on Instagram and TikTok. I'm trying to become a TikTok star again. Don't ask me why. I'm delusional. I am crazy. I'm young and beautiful, but so is D'Angelo, and so is everyone in the town. Oh my God, Clover just invaded my space, so he's ready to go out.
You like it looked like you had a tail for a second there.
I
It just
know, but
happened.
now, oh, hi, Mr. Clover. Now Clover wants some attention too, but I'm gonna
Oh, I
go
love
take
it.
him out.
I
But
have the
thank you.
dogs underneath me right now because they're like
Th-
circling.
oh,
So,
that's you know the vibe when they're like, okay, all right,
mhm.
come on, I need attention. So we're
We've been
gonna
in
give
one room for
attention
too long.
to our pups. And we will see everyone here this coming week. But until then, thank you, D'Angelo, for joining us on the pod. Thank you, townspeople, for listening and watching, any visual learners, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.